Hey everyone, Rick here, and yes, you guessed it, it is time for another Dwarven Forge unboxing. This time we are diving right back into the Den of Evil, specifically the Den of Evil Wicked Editions. Alright folks, here we have the label, the box, for the Dwarven Forge Den of Evil Wicked Editions. And I always forget to mention, it is part of their Master Maze line. Now, with the Wicked Edition set, the first thing I notice on the label is it does have a full color graphic of every piece that's inside of there. Why is that bizarre? It looks like, from the background there, you can see that they all do that, right? No, well, actually, the Den of Evil room set did not do that. But with all of these unboxings, just a couple things that I note is, first of all, this is a brown box. Just recently, Dwarven Forge announced a restock of their resin sets. I don't know how long they've been doing these brown boxes. It's been years since I last picked up a resin set from Dwarven Forge, but they had always been white like that one was. But anyway, here we go. So you might ask yourself, Rick, why didn't you just do the Den of Evil Wicked Edition set when you did the Den of Evil room set unboxing? Well, number one, I didn't want to make the video too long. Number two, and more importantly, the whole reason I'm doing these unboxings, period, is because on YouTube right now, there are actually not a whole lot of review, overview, unboxing, layout videos of the resin sets. And I think that is a miscarriage of justice. We need to see these. People need to shout from the rafters about the Dwarven Forge resin line of sets. Okay, I'll get off the soapbox. Let's crack open Wicked Editions. Now, if you saw my Den of Evil room set unboxing, you know that this is my first experience with Den of Evil. Which means, as I unbox this, I might get a little excited. So please bear with me, because from what I've seen, this is absolutely thrilling. All right, let's start off, as always, with the instruction sheet. Stefan up top is going into some details about the history of Dwarven Forge and why specifically the resin sets, and I guess probably all their sets, are fantastic and why you owe it to yourself to, dive in. You owe it to your game group, your game table, and a checklist at the bottom kind of goes into, a little collector's mentality. Maybe you want to try to catch them all kind of thing. Now, a lot of those are not available right now. And in fact, I know unboxing these sets actually kind of hinders me a little bit, because if I want to go get more of these, these resin sets only come out in limited batches. So, kind of advertising that, hey, these are here, they're in stock as of this video. If I want to go get more, I need to act fast. All right, so anyway, though, here is the set itself in its styrofoam tray. You can see all the pieces. They all come baggied, even the little tiny small ones. Let's take a closer look. I'm gonna unbag all of these, and I will be back shortly. Alright folks, here it is, the Den of Evil Wicked Edition set. So if you're familiar with Dwarven Forge, especially their resin line, you'll know that their Wicked Editions, they have 3 of them, I have 2 here, are extensions of their basic dungeon pieces. So it should come as no surprise that when they came out with a new line, the Den of Evil, that the Den of Evil set would eventually have an expansion, its own Wicked Editions. So this is it. This is everything that comes in Wicked Editions for the Den of Evil line of the Dwarven Forge Master Maze resin dungeon pieces. Resin meaning these have heft. Let's take a closer peek, and you can hear it too. Not only can you see the depth of the sculpt that you're able to get when the pieces are cast in polystone resin, but you can hear it. You can feel it, the heft, the weight. Every piece feels substantial. And I'm just going to say it right now. Every piece in Wicked Editions for Den of Evil is pure eye candy. Are you kidding me? Where do we even begin? Let's start with some of the biggest pieces in the set, folks. This is a 6x6 floor tile for Den of Evil. Now, when you look at this, one of the first things you probably notice is this big seal, this big arcane whatever in the middle of the floor. So obviously, the biggest benefit of having a piece like this in your collection is it saves you when you're wanting to build a big room, all these floor pieces. This is the equivalent of 9 of the standard 2x2 Den of Evil floor pieces. So instead of spending all those floor sections, pop down one of these bad boys. You get 2 of these in this set. As with all the Dwarven Forge pieces, they stay true to that 1-inch square grid that continuously flows through all of their offerings. Specific to the resin sets, the pieces are lined on the back with felt so it won't scratch your table. These, especially this gigantic piece, my gosh, this is a weighty piece. One of the first things that jumped out to me about the Den of Evil sets is along the outer edge is all of this incredible detail. You see all of these lost souls clinging to life, holding up the floor or trying to scratch their way to come back to reality. Who knows what happened to them, if they were deserving of this fate or if some macabre occurrence trapped them there for eternity. And there's this little gem in the center of the floor. It actually, because you might be worried, will that get in the way if you try to put something over this? I actually think the seal itself, the edges of the seal are just high enough that it almost makes that no issue. And I kind of tested that out by just putting a piece on top of it. So that is the gigantic floor piece. Again, 6x6. That's awesome. Next up, let's take a look at these. Here's a couple more floor pieces. Now, as kind of a theme with the Wicked Editions, no matter what line you're looking at, elevation is something that a lot of these sets add. This one is no exception. In fact, here are 2 floor pieces, the 2x2s, and as with all of them, they have the tortured souls all around the outside edge. And on the top, you have the floor design with, oh yes, downward stairs carved into the tile. So when you have that in the middle of one of your layouts, you can then use that as a transition piece to another level and then have that come down to another section, maybe off on another part of the table, for example. So you get 2 of those. And oh yeah, the detail, as always, is there. There are so many of these tortured souls peeking out from every corner and these tentacle things and cracks in the floor. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Next up, let's take a peek as I knock over the camera at a curved wall. So, as awesome as this is, a little extra piece was also included. Oh yes. And I mean, okay, let's start here first. Curved wall. So instead of the right angle walls that you'll get in the Den of Evil room set, now your rooms will have a little extra flair to them. You can make rounded cornered rooms, but just like with all the pieces, you have these demon statues, these gargoyle carvings. You can see the depth of the design and the background bricked up behind there, and of course the tortured souls around the base. So that is absolutely awesome in and of itself. Felt on the bottom, of course. But what happens if you want to put this in a room and continue the dungeon around this floor piece? Each curved wall, you get 4 of them, comes with this. This hooks right to the back and turns this into a 2x2 square piece of floor. And anyone who's ever played with Dwarven Forge pieces knows how handy that is, so you can continue the dungeon around the curved walls. Not only that, but they put the carved, crazed spirits around the entire thing, even on this interior curved edge, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be used in this fashion. You would never even see this. So that then opens the possibility of what else could this be used for? Well, if you had something like this, and this obviously doesn't necessarily have to be used in this instance this way, but let's just say I put a floor tile here, stairs or no stairs, either way. You could kind of dress it up, especially if it was raised, by putting something like that on there. So now you have, and it just looks awesome, that now down this raised platform, going down those stairs, it has that little extra bit of curvature, architecture, macabre, arcane. You can use all the adjectives you want. It just makes it look better. So these little curved pieces can just be little accent pieces. They don't even necessarily have to be pieces that go with the curved walls. Not only that, I was just actually thinking of something else. I don't have one here handy, but just a square or a right angle wall corner section. You could probably put this into that corner and just have it be a little extra texture there. Okay, so next up, let's talk about the columns. We have a ton of columns here. We have 4 in 2 different designs. All right, let's talk about these. These are actually the cooler of the 2, in my honest opinion. You have these demon statues, these gargoyles standing there looking just cool as heck. Flat tops with some cracks in the stone, felt on the bottom. These pillars are amazing. And what is more that I realized after unboxing it is that the bases are purple. I don't know how well that's picking up on camera, but that is a purple base. And actually there's some purple around the top crown of the pillar as well. The column, there you can kind of see maybe a better contrast. That is a purple base to the column. And that just stands out so nicely. And this piece, these column pieces, more than maybe any other piece in the set, would be perfect for any other Dwarven Forge set. You can always mix and match the themed Dwarven Forge sets. And I would love to use these columns in some other sets, because these are gorgeous columns. The other columns, though, are also fantastic. These are definitely thicker, beefier columns. And you can see they have the tortured souls peeking out from between these tentacly vines. And, of course, felt on the bottom, flat on top with the customary floor tile design. And, of course, all of these columns are used essentially so that you can build elevations. Build higher and higher. Okay, so that is the columns, the corner pieces. Let's talk about the stairs. You get 2 sets of stairs, and they also, and what's more, and see, there are videos online that show you different things. I don't know if there's a Den of Evil Wicked Editions video on YouTube at all. I honestly haven't found one. And the pictures on the website, do a decent job of showing you what's in the set, but in person, I want to try to have this video be of a decent quality enough so that you can see the detail on these stairs. I mean, look at the jagged way. These are not, just straight across steps. They are all over the place with these vine tentacly things coming up, and you can see the faces all over the place. So you have a lower set of stairs. You can do something like that. You can do something like that, make it just one long. You can do it in any kind of order you want. And I've shown this in other videos as well. If I just move these all to the side real fast, some of these higher pieces are going to need the taller stairs, of course, to get up to them. But you can go from one level. You can actually do something like this, where that, hooks up pretty nicely to that stair. So you can go from a flat area upstairs to a taller area. You can, when you stack these 2 floor tiles, of course, you could use these big ones, or you could use some of the smaller ones, but they are pretty nice with the shorter stairs. And you can kind of see how that spins. So that center area definitely does have some raise to it. So you're probably not going to want to stack these on top of each other. But just as an example, when you have your other flat floor sections, that 2 of them stacked together is perfect with one of these short stairs. All right, so that is the stairs. But let's talk about this thing. This is a very unique piece. This is heavy. This is just solid. This is just a solid chunk of polystone resin. And all the way around, you have more tentacly vines, tortured souls. You have the felt in the bottom. Everything. And then you have this. Oh yeah, there's a false floor here. When you lift this up and away, you have this creepy pool of God knows what, with these bodies, their limbs, the tentacles splashing on top of them, keeping them trapped in this pool of what you have to assume is blood or something. And even this piece itself isn't just a lid. You flip it over, and it is like an abyssal portal. So you could have this be on top, or you could have just the regular floor, or you could just not have it there at all, or you could use this piece as an entirely different piece. You could cover up the stairs with this piece, or have it just like this. You could have it on top of here if you want and say that's a portal, and then this thing sprung through the portal, or, just on a regular floor piece, have just, use this as a portal anywhere. It's just an excellent addition. So that is this. Now, the final piece, this is the face of Den of Evil, right? I mean, when I've seen the Den of Evil sets online, pictures, whatnot, this is what has always stood out to me. So what we're looking at here is 2 gigantic, evil-looking, monstrous heads. This is a 6x2 wall section with a passageway or a doorway, an archway. You have the faces, the limbs, the tortured spirits all the way around. On the back side, you have bricked up architecture and some other detailings. And you have the demon faces, fully carved out, purple eyes, horns, teeth, fangs. That is just gorgeous. Of course, that will just be an excellent addition to whatever you're trying to do. I mean, does that not just look fantastic? Leading into another room with perhaps terrifying, truly terrifying something on top. I mean, it's just absolutely excellent. Stick that through there even. Oh yeah. There is so much you can do with the Den of Evil room set, but there is so much more you can do when you add in the Wicked Edition set. It just gives you that elevation, gives you additional details. I am in love, folks. This has been the Den of Evil Wicked Edition set. Oh yeah, it's resin. Treat yourself. You owe it to yourself to treat yourself to a Dwarven Forge resin set. There's nothing like it. Do it today. Thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it. And until next time.